Here are some interior design trends that have survived for too long. They've become pretty popular in the last year or so, and I kind of hope they die. Some of these can technically be done tastefully, but more often than not, I do not enjoy. Click the thumbs up for me if you like a bit of drama / spilt tea, because I'm gonna spill all of it. Good thing I picked up all that bounty at Costco the other day. The quicker picker upper. Let's start with something really ridiculous, and that's this. Candy cane stripes. I'm all for a bit of fun and whimsy, even some Christmas cheer, so don't call me Grinch.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
But to paint your ceiling alternating red and white stripes may seem like a fun idea for about a month, but especially in a bedroom like this. Like, how am I supposed to fall asleep? I'll probably have nightmares about the barber, like Sweeney Todd styles. The one thing that I do like about this particular picture is how the ceiling design continues onto the wall a little bit, because it gives you the illusion, it could trick your eye into thinking the space is a bit more expansive, a bit bigger, which is a fun practical tip. It's the same reason I would normally paint my crown molding the same color as the ceiling rather than the walls, but I'm off topic here. Let's bash some more trends, shall we? So maybe it was my upbringing. Maybe it was the fact that I didn't have regular access to horses as a child. I wasn't an equestrianer, whatever the term is. I just don't understand the weird obsession with modern equestrian design. To be honest, I didn't even know this was a thing until this popped up. So clearly we have this very graphic wallpaper, and the color scheme is continued onto the doors and the trim. I do like the rustic touch with that old school treasure chest combined with a more contemporary high gloss arsenic green surrounding it. But nothing about this design feels relatable at all. Unless you're like an aspiring jockey yourself, this probably isn't for you, and it's definitely not for me. On the subject of relatability, I don't really connect with overly modern structural furniture, which is the next design trend. It's been having a continual resurgence, and I do get it. There's nothing inherently wrong with strong geometric shapes and lines, but you gotta give me a bit of a cozy element somewhere in the mix. Something that's either soft or at least has an interesting texture, maybe some warm coloration here and there, at least some natural elements. None of this cold, lifeless art gallery type of stuff that I definitely don't want to sit on, let alone have in my living room. Colored concrete is next. Wow. Another interesting trend that can be kind of cool depending on how the concrete looks to begin with. It's probably not a good idea to color your exposed basement walls that have been just schlepped together by the builder. It's also probably not a great idea to have your concrete walls in your bathroom colored green. Could be telling of some moisture issues. That's not a nice natural patina. That is mold. Put on your respirator. Ah, the wonders of USB-powered lighting. Yeah, it's a thing. Portable table lamps are a thing now, and while I do appreciate the portability of them, or the fact that you can kind of move them around freely, I kind of hate them for the same reason. Firstly, because they're battery powered and not tethered to anything, and that means you have to worry about charging them every couple of days, which is a bit of a to-do. I do not have time for that. Well, I do, I just don't want to do it. Not only that, a lot of these lamps look a bit cheap and kind of cheapen your overall aesthetic because of that. And finally, I just try to be a little more purposeful with my decor, especially when it comes to lighting, because I want to set my space up so that everything is illuminated sufficiently when it needs to be and stays that way. And a USB lamp from IKEA isn't really going to help with that. Handy to have in a pinch, but more so a tool rather than a design piece to me. This next one is a bit of a controversial one. I'm sorry, but here goes. Live edge wood. Yes. It excited me for about a year or so, but the excitement is over. Even to the point that I actually went to a furniture store looking for a live edge wood table, and then I just found something even better instead. The conundrum with live edge furniture, tables specifically, is that what makes them cool is that they do feel one of a kind, because it's literally a slab of a tree right there. But when you see so many of these one of a kind slabs all over the place, it truly begins to lose its appeal. And you know there's something wrong when you search for live edge wood on Google and the first thing that pops up is live edge wood gonna go out of style? Because I'm sure people are concerned that their $3,000 table might feel kind of whack in a couple of years, and then it just becomes firewood. Don't do that. I love using wood in my decor. I really, really do. all the better if it's repurposed. But I've outgrown live edge wood, at least in those larger doses. It's also kind of a hassle, right? Because you have to make sure it's sealed properly, you gotta clean it regularly, you gotta protect it from the heat and the sun, you gotta take it for nightly walks, change its diaper 3 times a day. This is one trend that I don't necessarily want to die. I'm just taking an extended vacation from it. There's another wood-themed design trend that I want to die in a fire right now, and it's those vertical wooden porch signs that everyone in my neighborhood seems to have right now. I've never seen such a welcoming neighborhood in my entire life. Everyone's just got a billboard right next to their front door telling people to come in. This is your home too. Wow, so thoughtful. Now I can understand if you pick out a funny one like this. Like, that's kind of funny, but it's just all a bit played out for me at this point. Especially because as a piece, it's very farmhouse. And if your home doesn't have a farmhouse aesthetic, it just sort of sticks out like a sore thumb. Not gonna lie, I do have a few farmhousey kind of things in my home, but they're mainly just wedding gifts from people, so I didn't buy them. Mixing textural elements has been a big trend as well. And this is one that I think can be pretty cool, but with a massive asterisk or warning. I'm sure a lot of us have seen blogs regarding things like lime wash and Roman clay, all these really cool finishes that you can put on your surfaces that create visual and physical actual texture. Just please bear in mind that whenever you're changing the texture of your walls, be 100% sure that you can live with that texture, because changing it back to nice smooth walls, massive pain, let me tell you. A simple paint job on your walls, it's kind of like ordering a steak medium rare. If you don't like it, you can always just put it back in the oven a little bit if you need to. But Venetian plastering on your walls? Pfft, that steak is well done. So I hope you like a bit of char on your filet mignon, because that's what you're gonna be stuck with. So overall, texture walls, still in, just be careful. I mean, really, you shouldn't be concerned whether it's trendy or not. If you like it, do it. If you don't, don't. But this next design trend can easily just be blamed on the past couple of years and all that it entailed, mainly because of people staying home and working from home and exercising from home and doing everything from home. It's multifunctional rooms or spaces in your home, where instead of a living room and a dining room and an office, you have something called a live-dine office room. I don't mind the idea of being able to use a space in multiple ways. In fact, the basement that I'm designing right now is going to be exactly that. But I do think there's a huge difference between a room that can do many things compared to a room that is currently doing all of the things. I prefer the concept of a convertible space, where you can make a few quick adjustments and now your hangout area becomes a guest room with a futon or a pull-out Murphy bed even. But when you have a room like this, what even is this? Sure, there's some really cute little design elements that I do vibe with, but why do you have a treadmill right in front of the window? Don't you think that might get a bit hot in the summertime? And you're blocking the view outside so that instead of looking at beautiful nature, those people sitting on that random couch over there, they're just gonna be staring at you, busting your butt. So if you have design in mind, try convertible spaces rather than multifunctional ones. Make sure your room can do a lot, but not do it all at once. Otherwise, it could feel a bit cluttered, and then God forbid, it just starts bleeding into other parts of your home. And then you have multifunctional house. Sounds like a nightmare. Now, the one room we have not discussed yet is the kitchen. And there are some really cool trends developing for 2023 that we talked about right over here. You do not want to miss my thoughts on what future kitchens might look like.